Hi, I'm Ned, and I've started streaming. This is a recording from my live stream over on twitch.tv/NedMakesGames. I'm live most Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. US Eastern Time. I'd love to see you there. Alright, hey everybody. How are you doing today? I've had pretty good morning so far. Actually got quite a bit done on this project before the stream, so that's nice. But I guess let's just jump into it. See, so I've got, well, okay. I'm trying to remember where we stopped last stream. Oh yeah, I was trying to do the debug views in the meta pass, I think. So the meta pass, you can have these editor visualizations and you kind of have to pass some extra information. And again, the meta pass is for light mapping, but this enables like, well, it's kind of funny because they have two different debug views. The one that we worked on most of the time yesterday is this new debugger, which is pretty cool. Let's see, we can see like different, like this is just the albedo and then just the smoothness. It's kind of hard to tell because they're all okay. And yeah, so we're using custom lighting on my shader, which is why it's magenta there, because we don't have metallic on it. So if I change it to use just the Unity's PBR lighting, oh, then it throws an error. Okay. All right, well, we found something real quick. Let's tackle that, and then I'll get back to some of the new stuff I've done. So basically, it's saying that this lighting input's not completely initialized by the time it gets down here. All right, so last time I had this error, it was kind of difficult to pin down, but let's do this first to see like if there's some value that I'm not setting. Okay, so that does work. I wonder what's not getting set then. Oh, I think what it is this setup debug texture data has to have the entire structure initialized because it's an in-out argument. Let me see. That was in the URP library debug 3D. Yeah, so the reason, okay, so this is an in-out, and since it's in, it expects the input data to be initialized when it's passed through here, so. Okay, so yeah, not a big deal. But anyway, so if we go back to metallic, but the thing I really like about it is you can turn off different like lighting modes. So in this mode, it only shows ambient occlusion. So that's pretty nice. And then you can have it only shade by the main light, or you can check out only global illumination. This is something that I usually do pretty often, but before I had to like comment stuff out on the code, but now it's enabled by default, so I quite like that. But you can see I also have a light cookie, and it actually turned out to be really simple. So if you don't know what a light cookie is, it's basically a texture that you can add onto a light, and basically the light, or whenever you or it's kind of like the light is shining through glass that's colored as this texture. So I can put this on it. Okay, I was wondering if that would make it. Okay, so it seems like the cookie is not affected by the alpha, which that's fine. Because I thought it might turn it into like a triangular light, but no, it doesn't do that. So I guess if you wanted to do that, you would make it black and white, probably. Let's see, do I have a black and white texture? I have this default particle. Okay, so that does do it. So yeah, if we turn the light black, then it basically fades out the color. I think that how that works is it samples like a pixel on this texture and then multiplies it with the light's color. So yeah. But anyway, so we have a light cookie on spotlights, and you can have a light cookie on the main light. And on the main light, you can even tile it. So it's pretty cool. What you'd mostly use this for is, say you were like in a forest scene. Then you could have the main light have like a leafy texture, and then it would look like it's shining through leaves. So it could be pretty fun. Yeah, I'm live. Okay. This OBS was being a little weird to me, but I think I am live. All right. Anyway, I think now can point lights have a cookie? Oh, they can. Oh, that has to be a cube map. Okay, let's turn off the other light cookies so we can see what's going on a little better. Okay, so I'm making the cookie be the light probe just so I can. I don't know if this is very useful, but you can see it is kind of affecting it. Oh, there you can tell. So the top of the light is like bluish because it's using the the skybox reflections as the light. So not that you'd really do this very often, but that's the only cube map I have on hand. So at least we know it works. Okay, so yeah, I did light cookies, and that turned out to be really simple to implement. All I had to do was in the shader, I just had to add this light cookie pragma. Another cool thing I did is I added decals. So here it's like a projector that you can project textures onto other materials. So that's pretty cool. And actually, this one wasn't it was a little more involved, but not super difficult. I also got it working with the custom lighting. So yeah, 2D decals. What you had to do this time was you had to implement, well, in the decal there's a couple different ways. So it uses a render a feature, and you can either have excuse me, have it use the debuffer mode, which means decal buffer, where it kind of writes decals onto their own texture, or you can have screen space decals, which you can see don't look quite as good, but the screen space ones work out of the box without any changes. The debuffer ones, you have to add these multi-compiles for different types of decal buffers, and then in your forward lit pass, you basically have to call this to apply the decal to the surface. And this is for PBR lighting, and then for custom lighting they have this other method which does each field like piecemeal. Okay, so that was decals, and then lastly, I did light layers. So in this, you can place an object into a different light layer. So if I take it off light layer 0, then it won't be affected by the main light. And then I can also set the main light to affect layers 1 and 0, or I can have it only affect 1. And then you can see only this sphere is lit by the main light. Oops. Oh, no, that was correct. But I guess this is useful like if you have a big mesh like terrain, because usually meshes can only be affected by a select number of lights. So if you wanted the terrain to be affected by certain high priority lights, then you could put them in like a terrain only layer. I guess that'd be a use case for it. But that's also new in 2021. And to do that, I had to add this pragma. And that was all you had to do for the PBR mode. But for the custom lighting mode, there was, let's see. I had to basically get the meshes light layer mask. And then for every light, you have to check to make sure that the lights layer is in the mesh rendering layer. Okay, I just realized, so I'm trying to make this compatible with both 2021 and 2020, or 2021.2 and 2020.3. And this layer mask field doesn't exist in the light structure in 2020.3. So I think let's make a helper function to figure that out. I already kind of had to do it because you do ambient occlusion slightly differently in the two different versions. Let's see. So bool is light. What should I call it? So this is called is matching light layer. So I need to think of something else. Okay, and then we'll just pass the light structure and then the mesh rendering layers. Okay, and what this will do is if Unity version is less than 2021.2, then we'll always return true because there's no light layers. Otherwise, basically we'll just call this function. Which is from the lighting.hlsl file. Okay, so now I don't need, so I already kind of had these like very simple functions to kind of like recreate new functions in older versions. But yeah, so I don't need this one anymore. And then we'll just call this function here, and then we could just pass the light. Oops. Okay. And again, you might be a little worried that adding these if statements are going to slow down this algorithm in 2020.3 because this always returns true. But the shader renderer is smart enough that it will see that this function always returns true and it will just remove the branch. Okay. Let me just make sure. Okay, undeclared. Oh, right, this should just be. Okay, and then just to make sure it still works. to change the light layers. All right. Okay. There's one other funny thing about light layers. In order to enable them at all, you have to come and turn them on in your settings asset, but I guess they think it should only be for advanced users because it's hidden by default. So you have to come up to these little 3 dots and say show additional properties, and then they show up. And yeah, so if you turn it off, then light layers are okay. Well, it still shows up here actually, which is kind of strange, but there you go. All right, now the last thing, well, there's a couple other features we need to do, but the last thing I tried to do before rendering was this clustered lighting, and it's not even really listed anywhere on the new features, but I noticed in the lighting library file, it has all the stuff about clustered rendering. And I think it's not actually implemented yet. They've just kind of like halfway done it. I could be, excuse me, I could be wrong because I can't find any information about it really online. I think it might have to do with the new forward plus rendering mode that's supposed to be coming, I think well, actually, I don't know what version, but relatively soon. So, and the only way I found out that you could kind of turn it on after a lot of digging through the source code is if you turn this on debug mode down at the very bottom. Oh, actually, it's on the renderer. It has this clustered rendering option. And if you turn it on, it actually breaks. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, so last time I did this, when I turned on clustered rendering, it started throwing an error. So what's different? Do I have... Okay, so now it's throwing an error when I have more than one light enabled. So I don't think it's really ready to go, obviously, because it's not... You have to like go into the debug mode to turn it on. So, yeah, so I'm not going to worry about implementing it right now. So yeah, that's why this is crossed out for now. If it is about the forward plus mode, I'll probably make a whole video about that when it comes out. So I guess the last thing I really have to do is do this reflection probe blending. And then I'll be done with features, so I'll just need to like make some test showcases. And I can start writing the script. But I won't do that on video, obviously it's kind of boring. Okay, so first off, let's try to just see how the reflection blending works for the default shader. Let's just make something simple. Let's make like a rainbow plane on one side. Maybe I shouldn't make it face that way because it's going to block the camera. All right. And let's give it just a default material. Excuse me. Don't know what my allergies are doing. Of course, that's to start acting up when I start streaming. Okay, so we'll have this one, and then I'll have another one over here that'll be just, I don't know, some other color. And that way we should have different reflections on both sides. Is it not casting a shadow? Oh. Okay, well, I don't really know if I want it to cast a shadow anyway, but oops. Make it dark blue or something. Okay, so all right. Haven't worked with reflection probes in a while. Let's see. Hopefully I can figure out how they work. Okay, so we'll have this one. I guess let's place it a little bit above the ground. I guess it should be at about the same level as the spheres. Oh, they're actually at 0. Okay, so that makes it easy. And then we'll have another one on the other side. Okay. So we got baked and real time, but let's just do them both baked and see how that looks. Okay, now these are all static, so they're also going to be in the reflections. I guess that's fine. I'll just make a separate real-time one. I probably should also make sure that light probes work, huh? They probably do, but... alright. Hey, thanks for the follow. Yeah, excuse the naming over here. Okay, let's generate lighting. And sorry if again this makes my stream stutter. Usually it's not too bad. It's still working. Okay, so that's the reflection probe. Oh, you know what? I forgot to make the plane static. Okay, yeah, because we can see the reflection probe actually did have the static spheres in them, but it doesn't have the planes on the sides. Now that I think about it, the placement of these probes is going to be kind of strange, but let's just see. Because I think it's not gonna blend that well because you kind of wanted to put them in like the middle of this area because it's gonna just see the skybox around here. But yeah, I don't know. Well, I mostly just want to test blending. Okay, so let's generate it again. Is it possible to use shaders to give a sphere something similar to mountains? You mean like bumps on it? I actually just did a tutorial about that, like using a height map on a sphere or any mesh actually. So maybe see if I can get the link real quick. Oops. This one. Yeah, I've made it about tessellation shaders. But yeah, using that you can basically apply a height map to any object you want. No problem, Danielle. I hope you liked the video. I'm pretty proud of it. So, but anyway, okay, so we can see reflections here. Let's okay, this is what I want. So I can have it show only reflections, I think. Oh, here. Okay, so this is showing only reflections. Let's see. So this one is using the reflection probes because it is not static. Okay, and you can see it. It's kind of hard to see because of the way. But yeah, it like flips real quick because it gets closer to the other reflection probe. So we should be able to blend between them. Now, I am a little surprised it's happening on this one because this is using the default shader. So on my shader, it's actually kind of hard to see with the dark object, but okay, but it still does flip. You can see around the rim. All right, so I need to enable blended reflections somehow. Checking to see if it's a material option. Okay, no, that just turns off reflections. Must be on the URP asset. Get rid of the advanced options there. Okay, here, probe blending on the URP asset. So now should smoothly interpolate when when it goes over. So again, I didn't really place these reflection probes very well, but we can see it is like blending between them, which is mostly what I wanted to test. What you would want to do is you'd probably want to have a reflection probe in the middle and then one outside, and then it would blend as you move towards them. But okay, so let's see. I don't think it enabled it on my custom shader though. No, because I still need to do a little bit of work. Let's see here. On the lit shader. Okay, yeah, so it has this reflection probe blending, and then this box projection, maybe I'll check out in a second. All right, so I added a keyword for this option, and that might be enough to enable it. Apparently not. Unable to unroll loop. Doesn't appear to terminate properly. Oh. Yeah, this isn't even my shader. Okay, I don't know what that's about because saying that there's... Why would changing my shader cause Unity's shader to throw an error? Okay, I'm gonna reload. Well, okay, first let's see if pro blending is working. No. Okay, but I'm gonna reload and just see if that error is still there. Okay, yeah, I was wondering why it looked different, but I think it's just because the rendering debugger had turned off. So again, I just want reflections. Does that error still show up? Yes. So this is the error that happened when I turned on clustered rendering. Did I accidentally leave it on, maybe? No. Okay, well, I'm not gonna worry about it right now. I guess let's see if it turns off when if I remove this line. Don't really know what it's about. Something about light cookies. But it's on the default renderer. If I remove this light cookie, does it? Okay, well, I'm not sure, but I mean, everything is working, so it's just giving that error. I don't know what's causing that because I don't know, it just like popped up randomly. But anyway. Okay, so again, this one blends fine, but mine does not. Probably because... Oops. I need to do a little bit more besides just setting this keyword. So let's look and see. Okay. So let's see if there's anything about light probes in the default lit shader forward pass. I'm not seeing anything, so it must be in the lighting, but... Okay, so here... Okay, I bet they have a separate, like, baked lighting file now. Yeah, probably global illumination. Okay, so here, if environment reflections off, well, that's not it. Okay. So if blending is on, then it calls this function. Okay. This is the... Okay, yeah, I did put that in there. Okay, so let's clean this code up, our area up here. Okay, well, actually, yeah, I'm not using custom lighting, right? So, oh, I was using custom lighting. So let's see how if it works without custom lighting, because that'll actually give us a clue. Okay, yeah. So if I don't use custom lighting, it does blend. So it's something with my custom lighting function. Probably, actually, I think I might know what it is now, but I think about it. Because in my custom lighting, to calculate the reflection, I just call this glossy environment reflection function, which probably is not what they use anymore. So they have this global illumination function, which is probably in the global illumination file. Let's just do current document. Okay, so this takes this stuff. Okay, so it still is the same. So it's glossy environment reflection, reflect vector, position, roughness, and then 1. Okay, so I think the difference is I don't pass the position here. So, okay. It's pretty easy to add, if I can spell it right. Alright, so let's see if this works. Okay, so it's still throwing that error. Okay, but now it does blend them. Okay, so alright, well, that was relatively simple. To get it to work in 2020.3, I could either do an if here, or just write this like a simple version of this function, which I think I'll just do that so I don't have to have so many if branches. Okay, so this will return float 3. Let's not get lazy. Okay, and then we'll just call the version of this function without the position. Oh, and this is again just for compatibility with 2020.3, which does not have reflection probe blending and doesn't have a version of this function with a position argument. Okay, still throwing that error, but it's hard to see the reflections on the custom shader, but I think that's just because I use it kind of as a rim light, so it only shows it on the edges of the model. I guess let's just remove that term because I just want to make sure I've got it correct. Okay, so it is blending. All right. Okay, so what else do I need to do? Oh, that box projection. Let's see what that's about. Now, that was also in the URP asset. So if I turn that on, okay, I don't know. It looks almost the same, but it probably is just better quality. Okay, also, it doesn't seem to change anything. Let's see. Okay, let's just leave the Fresnel off for now. This is just... Yeah, the little effect is kind of strange, but... Okay, so do I have to turn... Maybe they need to be real time? Oh, box projection. Okay, so I probably need to bake it again. Okay, so I was expecting it to kind of not look correct anymore because I have box projection turned on. But it actually... I mean, besides this one being a lot stronger because I turned off the Fresnel effect, it's looks the same. Let's see, so now I'm using PBR mode for both of them. And yeah, it looks pretty identical. It almost looks like box projection doesn't have any color. But the reason I'm kind of surprised is because there's a keyword. Yeah, reflection probe box projection. So I don't know what that does if it already seems to work. Let's see if we can find out a bit more about what the box projection does. This property to enable reflection probe box projection. Okay, well, thank you. It doesn't really talk about it at all. All right, very informative. Okay, reflection cube map is assumed to be at an infinite distance from any given object. Different angles of the cube map will be visible as object turns. Not possible for the object to move closer or farther away. Works well for outdoor scenes, blah, blah, blah. The box projection option allows you to create a reflection cube map at a finite distance from the probe, thus allowing objects to show different size reflections according to their distance from the cube map's walls. Oh, hi, I3. I'm doing pretty good. How are you? The size of the surrounding cube map is determined by the probe zone of effect, as determined by the box size property. Okay, well, that makes sense. So okay, so you can, yeah, as it moves, you can see the reflections getting smaller. I don't know if it just popped. Okay, no, they kind of just, I think it's just fading actually, but it is growing, so I guess we can, yeah, you can see the effect. Now if I turn off box projection, would that still happen? Let's see. Okay, but no, you can see now it's not fading as you go away. Okay, but one thing I'm surprised about is why are the reflection probes just black and white? Because they were actually in color before. Okay, I thought that was an maybe it's because this other reflection probe. Oh no, they're both not on box projection mode anymore. Oh, the URP asset must be. Okay, let's see. If I turn that off, do I get colored probes again? Or colored reflections? No. Oh, okay. I know why they're black. It's not because of any bug or anything. It's because I have this debugging on, so they're black even in the meta pass. Right? Okay, I need to get it to update this one. I guess I'll just turn this back on. Cause I think it thinks I didn't make any changes, so it's not gonna re-bake it apparently. I guess I could just clear the bake data to get it to do it. Okay, that wasn't it. Why is it black and white then? I don't understand. Because it was rainbow before. Okay, well, I mean, box projection is working. I guess I should check my lit object. So yeah, I can see the silhouette here is shrinking as I move away, which is the box projected effect. Now, does that go away? Like, if I remove this keyword, does it not do that anymore? Yeah, it doesn't shrink anymore. Okay, so that's what the keyword does. It enables that effect. Okay, I want to add that I've done. And box projection. Okay, but no, we just have this weird effect with it not capturing colors anymore, and I don't know what I've changed. Let's just turn this off again. Maybe I'll just reset Unity again. Because it seemed to just like randomly turn black and white when I turned on box projection, and I don't really know why it did that. Okay, still working a bit. Okay, I think it's colored again, so I don't know. Oh no, it's not. This is annoying. I mean, the skybox is colored, but for some reason the actual geometry isn't. It's not like the light maps. Yeah, the light maps are colored. Okay. Okay, well I just told it to bake now and it worked. Just individually from this dialogue and not from the light mapper. But I guess I'll take it. I guess you just have to do it from that dialogue. Anyway. Okay, so let's try changing this one to be real time. I guess go in play mode. Just see if it. I guess it would only update static game objects. Oh well, no. Okay, so when I move past a certain point, I think it's. Okay. Oh no, it's seeing itself in the reflection. Okay, that's kind of funny. Okay, I wish I could just leave this one displayed. There we go. So yeah, now when this one moves away, so you can see it's getting reflected in the probe. But yeah, that's kind of funny because it also shows itself here. I guess what you'd have to do is maybe mark this to. Oh, this is a reflection probe. You have to tell this not to affect the reflection probe or something. Probably, yeah, you'd like put in a different layer or something. I don't know. Well, maybe do a whole series on, or another video on reflection probes, but I just wanted to test to make sure that it did work with the real-time ones, but I think it uses the same system, so it's not super surprising. Okay, so did this work with... I guess I should check that box protection works with my custom lit shader. And it does, okay. Alright, so now let's add back the Fresnel effect. Okay, so I think we're good on reflection probes now. Okay, so, oh yeah, so I just want to check light probes real quick because I haven't actually tested it. Although, yeah, light probes I don't think have changed. But let's just make sure. Where is it? Why is it not showing up? Oh. I think it's because I have gizmos turned off. I'm trying to... Okay, there we go. Alright, so I don't want to spend a ton of time positioning these perfectly. Let's just put those there and then scale them. And then I'll add another baked light over here. And then we'll have a purple one over here, I guess. Okay, so let's generate lighting again. Okay, so the light probes should... Alright, so again, I didn't really place them perfectly, but they should be more green here, but then when I cross this way, it should start to turn more purple. But it's kind of hard to tell. Did it have... In our debugger, did we have a mode to see only light probes? I guess it'd be global illumination. Okay. Move them closer, and then I guess I'll just make both of these lights a little stronger. Okay, let's just bake again. Okay, there we go. Now they're getting affected a lot more. Okay, so yeah, it should change to green when it moves this way. And it's not actually affected by the light. It's affected by the light probes, which have the lights baked in. And yeah, this setup is, again, not that great because you can tell it's green on this side, even though the green light is really far away. And that's just because these light probes, like there's not a light probe in the middle to catch that the green light has stopped at this point. So it's just linearly interpolating between these corners. But I don't really care because I just kind of want to test to make sure that light probes work. Yeah, how much they do. Okay, so is this the default? Oh yeah, this is the Unity lit. So this one is my lit. Okay, and it works as well. Okay, and okay, so that was custom lighting mode, and then the PBR lighting mode also does light probes. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that those were working. All right, so pretty much I think we're done with features. So what I need to do now is, I guess I should try to backport this to 2020.3 just to make sure I didn't do any breaking changes. See, that might be a little difficult to do. Let's see, what would be the best way? I guess I'll commit all my changes. Before I do that, I should save the scene. Okay, so we've done a lot. Light layers, reflection blending, light cookies, green space shadows, and general updates for 2021.2. Okay. Just make sure there's nothing weird in here. Oh yeah, decals is another big one. Okay, so what I should do is switch to the master branch. Not while Unity's open. Okay, and I don't want to just merge in the branch changes because I kind of only want to bring in the shader files and not like the scene changes. So I think what I'll do is open it in Unity, and it's going to complain that I'm backporting, but actually it'll be fine because nothing is actually, it's actually just a 2020.3 project that's tagged wrong. So okay, we'll load this up, and then I'll pull the shader files from the other branch. It's gonna take a little bit of time, I guess. I'm trying to see. Like, I wonder, can I just pull file, like specific files? I guess it's not. It'd be just called merge. Maybe I should make another branch from this master and then just merge in. That might be easiest. So I'll make another branch from here and then just merge in our 20.2 version and then just fix any problems that come up. Okay, I think I did upgrade. So this will be 2020 backport. So I want to merge this branch. Okay, yeah, so there's some conflicts. And project settings. Okay, so I want it to be 2020.3. Yeah, I don't even care about that package, but whatever. Hey, Rocky Felix. What am I up to today? Well, I just implemented a bunch of like reflections and stuff in my shader. So and that is all like only supported in 2021.2, but for the tutorial, I also want to support 2020.3, so I'm trying to backport all my changes to make sure that it still works. Okay, some of this stuff is gonna throw an error, but okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm having to do some Git trickery. I kind of wanted to just pull my shader files into this version, but okay, some errors as I expected. Okay, it's not. Let's see. Okay, let's just close it. It wouldn't let me uninstall it. Okay, so I think I need to change this to a different version. I'm gonna try just deleting that line, and then when I reopen the file, oh, it's not even closing. Okay, I guess I didn't have to. I don't know. I kind of like to close it. Okay, so now it's just saying that there's no URP or shader graph. So hopefully I can just install the latest for 2020.3. There's still going to be some problems probably, but do I prefer URP over built-in? Well, I've been using URP for, I guess, like a year and a half now, so now I'm kind of used to it. I do miss like surface shaders from built-in, but URP has the shader graph, so okay. I guess that did fix it. I'm gonna close it and reopen. Okay, that's fine. I don't need this anymore. But I guess to answer your question, I guess I do prefer URP at the moment, but mostly just because I'm used to it now. You think you read they want to remove built-in someday? I don't know if they've ever said it, but that kind of just seems to be because I think the URP is, they want it to have all the features that built-in had, and at that point, I don't really know why you need to keep it around. Okay, so this is because the decal feature and the screen space shadows don't exist in 2020.3, so okay. But surprisingly, there's no errors in my shader, which I'm a little surprised about. Okay, I spoke too soon. Can't open. Can't open the lighting and the core files in URP. I think that's just out of date. Yeah, so if I just re-import it, it works now. Okay. So the light probes are still fine. Actually, yeah, the reflection probes still work fine. In this version, they just don't blend, which I guess makes sense. Do they? Okay, so box projection actually existed in this version. I just didn't know about it. Or I guess probably did know about it. I just didn't really have to support it. You can barely see the reflections, but I don't see it doing the box projection effect. So maybe even though that option is there, it doesn't actually work. Let's see. Yeah, because there's not even a reflection probe, like box projection tick mark here. Oh, you know what? That's probably because box reflection exists in built-in, but not URP at this version. So yeah. I will be really happy when URP gets all the features that built-in has, which I think it's pretty close now. I'm trying to, I mean, surface shaders is a big thing it doesn't have, but I guess it has, like I said, shader graph instead. But now it even has a deferred rendering pass, or deferred rendering path, which is pretty nice. Okay, well that was actually simpler than I thought. I guess I did a good job doing these if statements when needed. Okay. I guess all these files or functions work fine. Because I had to do some pretty big changes here, but I guess all good. Turn off green space, ambient occlusion. Okay, I was gonna say, I hadn't tested it if I turned on my custom lighting mode. So there's something here, but oh, okay. How does, I guess it's an in out. What can be an in out here? Okay, so that just means it will set the ambient occlusion. Okay, so there are a couple problems here. Oh, this is gonna be kind of annoying. There's no identifier for all these debug features. So what I should do, I guess, is have I guess I just need to define these, is what I'm trying to say. And they could all just be 0 because it doesn't actually matter. Okay, so let's see if I can find them all. So we have global illumination, the ambient occlusion. Okay, and this is all for that debug lighting mode, which unfortunately doesn't exist until 2021.2. So in this version, we need to basically just make these kind of placeholder values so that the code will still run. Okay, let's make sure. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay. So now what I should do, I guess I should port these changes to the 2021.2, but I'll do that later. Actually, I kind of want to work in that version, but we'll see. Okay, I'm just trying to think about what my next step. I kind of want to make, like, I don't know, whenever you start a Unity project, they have that one scene set up with like the construction materials. I kind of want to make that using my my shader to see how that looks. It should be basically the same, but I guess that's the point. Okay, let's turn that off. Oh yeah, and this decal doesn't exist here, but can leave it. Okay, I guess before I go any further, let's merge these changes back into the master branch. Okay, save the scene. Okay, so we fix any I guess missed incompatibilities. Okay. Okay, so now I want to switch to the master branch and merge. Then we can remove this backport branch. Okay, so yes, so nothing should have changed really. Alright, so let's see, can I make that a new scene with that construction stuff? I don't think so. So I think I'll have to create a new project. Oops. And then like drag the, like export the scene as a asset and then import it into this project. Okay, so let's just do that real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna delete it soon, but I think it's this one. I'll just let this run a bit. I've been trying to think about the structure of this shader, or this tutorial, because it's kind of a lot of information to cover. because I gotta start with like, well, when I asked my patrons, most of them said they didn't really want that much focusing on like how to write HLSL, the actual language, but I think I still should do a little bit of introduction. But then I have to do like the .shader file, and then how to write all the different passes, and then custom lighting, and then implementing all the lighting features. And since I want to support both versions, it's going to be, or both versions of Unity. I'm going to have to think carefully about how I structure it, I think. HLSL is your favorite stuff for sure. Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that. There's going to be quite a lot of it because I'm making this HLSL tutorial, and then pretty soon I'm going to do something about grass, which also doesn't use the shader graph, so it'll have a lot of HLSL too. Okay, so here is the shader, or the scene. Let's see. Okay, so... Oh, I see. So it's all that in this example assets. That's good to see. So can I just like export this sample scene? I kind of would rather rename it so it doesn't conflict. Let's call it construction scene. Okay, and if I just tell it to export this, it should export everything that's related. You've been trying to make a 2D HLSL grass, but it's your first HLSL project, so it's been tough. Yeah, it's there's a lot to learn, so I would just say don't get discouraged. Okay, well, I don't really care so much about the README. What's this? Okay, let's see what that is. Oh, it's post-processing, so that's fine. So I do wonder, like, what's the... I guess before I like use this in a tutorial, I should see like what the license is for all of these assets. Graph, built-in, quick and easy to customize. Template contains a sample scene that contains examples of how to configure lighting settings. Let's see, quick swap between graphic quality levels, the presets that have been optimized. Blah. This template contains a sample scene that contains. Yeah, they just copied that. Okay, it doesn't say what the license is though. Okay, so I guess I should look that up. Unity, URP, sample scene, assets, license. Okay, so it's called the Universal Project Template. Um, I'm kind of surprised because usually Unity is pretty good about explaining. I mean, it's probably the Unity under the Unity Companion license, but I don't know. And I can't just use it without knowing. Okay, well, all right, well, we'll come back to this. Okay, I guess we'll just start on something else, since I don't really, like I said, I want to make something that I can show in my video, but if I'm not allowed to use those assets, then I don't want to waste time on it, so I'll find that out before the next stream. But for now, I guess we'll start researching the tutorial. Well, it might not be the next tutorial, but the tutorial after that, I guess, which is basically adding all these new features from Unity 2020.2 to the shader graph. Custom lighting that I did a couple months ago. Okay, so let's just close this and this one. Okay, so first off, all right, so I haven't really made a list yet, but okay, so we need screen space, ambient occlusion, screen space, shadows, light layers, light cookies, yeah, the custom interpolators. Okay, I guess this is for better global illumination. And then reflection probe blending. Okay, so what else have I done? The real-time global illumination. Just click the same thing. Decals. And then I guess this debugging stuff. I don't know how much we can do with that though. And then I guess box projection. Trying to think, is there anything else? Okay. Okay, so first, should I just use this? Can't remember what was going on in this project. I don't know if I should just make a new project or build off of this one. Actually, I hope I didn't just make a mistake. Yeah, because I'm on a different. Yeah, it's gonna cause a problem, but let's see. I'm gonna cancel this real quick, but I don't know what's gonna pop up. Sorry, Unity. Okay, so what I want to do is, I guess, commit these changes. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on here. I must have like merged but didn't commit the merge. Okay, yes, I don't know what's going on in this project. I think I might have I left it in a bad state, I guess, last time I worked on it. Okay, well, I'm just going to make a new one and then we'll import in the shader graph file that I got from, or that I created in the actual video tutorial, which is probably a better idea anyway. Right, so we'll start. Okay, well, I guess this is all about 2021.2, so yeah, I don't even need to worry about the old version, so we'll just start with this one. Well, that's funny. So in this, at 2021.2, you don't even have that construction scene, apparently, because it doesn't have a 3D URP preset. Okay, I'm just gonna make a new folder. So this will be shader graph. Well, no. I guess it's all custom lighting. So this was the old one. So I'll do 2020.3. Oh, I shouldn't really be doing it in that dialogue, should I? Okay, so we'll just move all of this in there. And I'll have my new 2021.2 version. And that's where we'll store these new files. So this will be shader, graph, lighting, research. Okay, let's shorten that a little bit. Okay, I know this is all very thrilling, all this project management, but we should get to something more interesting in just a second. But, okay. Just thinking, I mean, I could also work on the grass a little bit, but it's been a while since I messed with that one, so... Because, yeah, I asked my patrons what tutorial they want to see after the HLSL shader, and it was between upgrading the custom lighting tutorial or my grass system. And I think the grass system is winning, so that will probably be next. But like I said, I have a little prep to do there before I want to stream anything to do with that. But the shader graph one shouldn't be too difficult. Because basically we kind of already researched the stuff I need to know when we were doing the HLSL shader just now. So I kind of just need to see if I can replicate all of those systems in a shader graph. Which hopefully won't be too difficult. All right. Okay, so what I want to do is import my shader graph package. Oh, that's really going to make me start from my desktop. Okay, so this has test lighting. I guess I really don't have to include all this, but I might as well. Okay, so it's complaining because the scene's conflicted. Okay, and this is magenta because I haven't set up the URP yet. Oh. Visual scripting. That must be new. I knew that they were working on it. I didn't know it was released already. Kind of want to check that out. I think I might give myself a little note. Now, one thing I don't like about 2021.2 is that it is noticeably slower. Basically, whenever you change any script, and right now it's taking a long time to start up. I don't really know what that's about. They say they're trying to fix it, so that's good to hear. Okay, so now project settings. Okay, and that's funny. So that didn't really take very long, but I guess if you had if your game was big. Okay, so the other thing I want to do is just change this and make sure we start off with linear color space. Okay, so yeah, now we've got a scene here with a bunch of things set up. It has light probes already, shadow mask caster, which basically is just for baked shadows, and then some baked lights. Okay, so what I need to do, first let's clean up the file structure. I'll delete this scene folder and just use this one. And this has some stuff. Okay, what's this? Oh, a subgraph. So if we look here, we have our standard custom lighting. This is the file that actually implements the custom lighting. What's this? See the inspector for details. View direction node has changed behavior in 2020.2. Please see documentation for more information. Okay, I bet you just don't have to normalize it anymore. But let's make sure. Okay, so Unity shader graph 1.2 view direction node. Vector vertex or fragment to the camera, the coordinate space. Okay, this doesn't say. Oh, but this is an older version, maybe. Kind of funny. It gives me my own video. Fire view direction node works differently in HDRP than URP. In URP, it only stored object space vectors normalized. So it's all vectors normalized. Okay, yeah, so it just normalizes them. I always thought it was funny that it didn't normalize them for URP. I don't really know. Yeah, that's why I had to feed it through this normalized node. I guess I should... It's nice that they have that little note, though. Okay, I don't really like that error. Huh. Just missing the bug do it? No, even... Alright, well, I wanna... Before I forget, I wanna make a note for like, I don't know, changes. Remove normalize node after view direction in custom lighting sub graph. Okay, yeah, because it's kind of, it's hard to check like a difference file for the shader graph, so I kind of want to make a note, but I don't know what's causing that error, so let's just restart it. It seems like we've done this a lot this stream. Validation node behavior was changed. Okay, I know that. What? It doesn't match up at all because it says it has something to do with a string builder, but then I come here and there's no string builder. Okay, so that's something to do with precision. Maybe it's the custom lighting or custom function. Okay. Well, this is something with Unity, obviously, but... Oh. Oh, well, okay, so the problem is now it says the custom lighting node doesn't have any outputs because, yeah, it's just failing to even create the custom lighting node, which is funny because just a second ago it was working when we first imported stuff. Maybe... Okay, let's import the package again. This is... Okay, I'm just gonna import the shader graph. Okay, so does it... Can I save it now? Okay, so then it messes up whenever I try to save it. Okay, so obviously there's some problem with importing the shader graph, which is annoying because I want people to be able to start from what they've already done. All right, well, let's see. Maybe somebody else has had this issue. Shader subgraph. So null reference exception with shader subgraph importer. Huh. Well, I don't really want to switch to 2022. This is really a shame because I want this to be available in the long-term support for 2021. Does this mean I can't use keywords in a shader graph? Or a subgraph, which would break everything. Subgraph node is showing validation error when it has a keyword. Possibility of a backport is currently being evaluated. That was in November. Okay. Okay, so this was 9 days ago. Did they backport it? So maybe I can fix it if I upgrade to a different version. see. I want to see pre-release packages. I understand. Okay, I might just have to wait until this version comes out. Okay, well, kind of throws a wrench in my plans because I have to wait until that version becomes available. Let's see, is there a new version of 2021? No. Okay, well. Okay, I'm trying to think, what can we do instead? So I can't do anything really with the subgraph because, or with this, because basically everything is in the subgraph. And apparently, even though the fix happened 9 days ago, they haven't pushed it yet. Yeah, I don't really want to mess with trying to modify my local copy because I'll have to like drag this file out. Okay, well, okay, I guess, well, I kind of said I didn't really want to do grass, but I guess we can. Wait, why is that telling me to save the scene? Oh, it's opened in a random scene. Okay, let's just open up my grass project and see. Hopefully it's not too broken. It's been a while since I've messed with it. I guess I'll need to update it with all these new features from 2021. I don't know if I really need most of them for grass, but I guess I would like the debugging at least. Okay, so okay, well thankfully it doesn't have any huge bugs. Okay. So basically what I wanted to do, so right now I kind of use, let's see if I can. well, there are a couple things I want to do this project. I need to clean up the shaders a lot because right now they're all in like a single pass, or all the passes are in a single file, which is kind of confusing. Okay, let's close this. And also, I kind of just want to clean them up because they're kind of messy in general. They all have like a bunch of different versions because for optimization reasons, there's like 4 different ways that you can light grass, either like per pixel, per tessellated vertex, per like original vertex, and then per blade. And I'd written them all in there, each in its own shader, but I kind of like to see if I can clean that up just so, or at least move a bunch of the logic into like a common file. But let me see. Is there a performance difference? Yes. Yeah, so the fragment lit, which is I think what this is set up to use right now. If I can find the grass. Yeah, so it's using this fragment lit material. It is the most intensive, but it looks the best because the grass is lit like per pixel, so it gets highlights and stuff. And then otherwise it goes down to just be per vertex, so it usually doesn't have as good highlights. Let me see if I can show it real quick. Okay. What? Okay, so this is also using a fragment lit. So I think I can just switch in a vertex lit version. Okay, and so you can kind of see, I guess maybe press play. So here you don't really see as many highlights as on this version. That's just because it can only draw, basically it has to ignore specular lighting. And then I have the most lightweight is instance lit, which it calculates the lighting once per blade. And how it works kind of is there's a special like grass soil renderer that does that. Do I have okay, so I need to give it the instance lit, and then the grass manager needs to have instance lit. Okay, but apparently that is kind of broken right now. But yeah, like I said, it's been like a month or so since I worked on this project, so I don't remember exactly the state I left it in. And I wasn't expecting to work on it today, so. Why does that work? Oh, I think there's one other thing I have to do. Right, so set this instance lit, and then I think on the grass render feature, I have to also click instance lit on that. Maybe not. Oh, I think the grass manager. Almost looks more blurry, yeah. Okay, well that didn't fix it either. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to look into that. But let's just keep it on the fragment lit for now. Oh no, did I break it? Yeah, they all have. Oh, I put the grass shader on the soil. Yeah, so the way this system works is there's basically a fake camera that looks down at the terrain, and then it kind of raycasts to find where the terrain, I guess, is in the world, and then it plants a grass blade on every pixel. And then it outputs those grass positions into like a buffer or an array on the GPU, and then this other mesh shader reads those positions and then spawns the grass blades. So yeah, here you can see, well, there's not an actual like camera object, but I created like a virtual camera that's basically sitting where my mouse is, and it looks down. And the reason it has this shape is because the player can't actually see those other grass blades, so it knows not to render them there. But if I okay, well, it doesn't actually work unless the game view is also visible. But yeah, so you can see here, since I moved the player like that, it changes which grass blades are visible, but then on the game view, you can't ever see the holes. And then, yeah, we can move the player object around and rotate it. Thanks, Rocky Felix. Yeah, I'm happy to finally get to this tutorial because like I said, I've had it waiting for a long time, but it's pretty complex. So I wanted to get like the tessellation video finished because we actually use tessellation in here to do level of detail for the grass. That's kind of what I wanted to work on. So right now, let's look. I have, where is it? Okay, I think it's in the draw common. So the wind system I use now, I think I can improve it because it uses like the perturb method, I guess, where you deform like the actual vertex position and then you offset it based on the tangent and bitangent to try to generate a new normal. But the problem with this is that the like the deformed position is not based purely on world position, so it ends up like not being a great approximation. So what I'd like to kind of do, yeah, I don't know if we'll do it today because I haven't thought a whole lot about it, but I kind of want to try to change the wind to be based on like a math formula so I can calculate exact normals, and I think that will improve the look of the grass a lot more. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't planning to work on this today, so I'm not super prepared. But I did want to show off at least a little bit of the grass system so that you'll know what to expect. And yeah, I've made a couple other. I also have this showcase scene that spawns flowers with the same system. So it's pretty versatile. Oops, didn't mean to double click there. And then this, I made like a little putt-putt course. So it spawns grass like only in certain areas on the mesh. And you can see kind of like some color modeling. And then this one I tried to show off, like you can have dynamic density here. So it uses like a density texture on the terrain to make these little holes, and then of course not gross as much grass on the sand. And then of course this one I did earlier, I tried to copy Breath of the Wild. But I guess I'll go ahead and call the stream here. Sorry, it's a bit of a shorter stream, but yeah, Unity kind of messed up my plans. But I'll return Friday, and hopefully I'll figure it out. Maybe the new version will come out and we can work on the shader graph, or if not, we'll probably do some grass stuff, but or maybe some other project, I don't know, we'll see. But thanks everybody for coming by and watching. If you enjoyed the stream, I'll put some links in chat if you'd like to connect with me on my other social media. Of course, I have my YouTube channel where I post game development tutorials. So yeah, check that out. Oh yeah, thanks Rocky Felix. But yeah, I hope you have a great couple days, and I'll see you all Friday. All right, bye-bye.